Hi, my name is Nick Clements, and I'm the business planner at Landa Digital Printing. Some of you may know me better as Dr. Nano, and seriously, if you haven't seen what I can do with a hairdryer, a hot plate, and a set of magnetic cubes, well, I suggest that you look up Dr. Nano on YouTube straight after this. But today, it's my pleasure to be your host for our Landa Live panel discussion with Benny Landa, the founder of Landa Digital Printing and the chairman of the Landa Group, and Eric Gordon, CEO of Landa Digital Printing. We've actually been a bit blown away with the response we've had to this Q&A. We've had thousands of people registering, and you've submitted hundreds and hundreds of questions covering every conceivable topic. Now, there's no way that we're going to be able to deal with all of those questions in the time that we have available to us today. So what we've done is we've selected a representative sample, a top 10 if you will, of some of the more challenging questions, because we don't want this to be easy for Benny and Eric. And I'm going to be putting those questions to them in a few minutes. And by the way, you can keep submitting your questions during the course of the panel discussion. There should be an option at the bottom of your screen there. So keep those questions coming in, and we will do our best to answer as many as we can. But before we go to the panel discussion, one thing that you've been asking us is, how many Landa presses are there installed and where are they? So to answer that, we put together this short video. So let's see it. Wow, even I'm impressed, and I've seen that video a number of times before. But hopefully it gave you a taste for some of our customer installations around the world, including some that were installed in just the past few months. Okay, now to our panel. Benny, for those few people out there who might not know who you are, please could you share with us a brief introduction?
Well, I'm sure more than just a few don't know who I am, so thank you, Nick. Well, I'm the founder of Indigo, which I started 43 years ago. And then 20 years ago, I sold it to Hewlett-Packard. Indigo continues to be the digital printing market leader to this day. But Indigo also continues to focus primarily on niche markets, such as photo albums, custom labels, and very short-run jobs. And that's why I started Landa Digital Printing, to focus on mainstream printing. But you know, to meet the needs of the mainstream markets means high speed, B1 format, longer run lengths, all at top quality with offset economics. We needed a new technology. So we invented nanography. And well, the rest is history. Nick, here we are today, and printing will never be the same again.
Thank you, Benny. Now to the CEO of Landa Digital Printing, Eric Gordon. Eric, please can you share with our audience a little bit about your background?
Sure, and thank you, Nick. So actually, I started my career in engineering and product, and my first job in the industry was actually in the graphic art industry with a company called Cytex. I worked 2 years in Israel in development, and then I moved to the business side of it and worked 5 years in Cytex in Europe, in Belgium, as marketing director of Cytex in Europe. So my encounter with the graphic industry, although 20 years ago, was at that time. Later on, I moved to a company called Orbotech. Orbotech is serving the electronic market. I worked 18 years for Orbotech, 8 of them in Asia. Eventually, I headed Orbotech business and operation in Asia, and then came back to Israel to head the printed circuit board division. It's the largest business unit of Orbotech. What is common to the PCB division or Orbotech and Landa is that Orbotech is offering complex, advanced technology, advanced production solution based on hardware with hundreds, sometimes thousands of installations out there in the field. And that's an experience I'm going to have to leverage coming into Landa. Orbotech was acquired by KLA, a major player in the semiconductor, about 2 years ago. I moved to strategy and business development roles. And as of last June, I'm here at Landa, and I'm very excited to be here in Landa.
And we're very excited to have you here in Landa.
Thank you.
I must say, it's great to have you on board, Arik, and I think your experience is felt by all in the company. Really, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Benny.
Thank you. Okay, so now to our questions. Obviously, one of the things that's preoccupying many in our audience at the moment is the COVID-19 pandemic, and we've had a lot of questions about what impact we see on the print industry in general and Landa in particular. So, Benny, maybe you can deal with the first part of that question. How are we seeing COVID impacting the printing industry and the segments within it?
Sure. Well, maybe stating the obvious, but it's clear that no country, no society, no industry, including the printing industry, has been spared from the COVID-19 pandemic. But in the various sectors of our industry, the pandemic has had a different effect. That is, from sector to sector, it's been different. In commercial printing, which serves the general economy, of course, it has been adversely affected. But in packaging, especially food and pharma, there appears to actually have been a boost to the packaging customers. Our packaging customers are seeing increased demand for just-in-time printed goods. And I think this is bolstered primarily by online shopping and really thriving supermarket and drugstore sales. As for the commercial printing, though, yes, we do see a COVID decline. But all the signs indicate that commercial printing will rebound as the economy returns to normal, and then we expect the demand for digitally printed products to really accelerate. Why? Well, the COVID-19 crisis has taught us one thing. The world isn't going to go back to the old normal. The new normal will be much more digital than the old. More online shopping, more home deliveries, more Zoom meetings replacing a lot of business travel, and the increased need for fast turnarounds and flexible manufacturing. So the COVID era, the post-COVID era, will be a more digital era. And that has far-reaching, very positive ramifications for the digital printing industry. So as horrible as COVID has been, the upside is in the post-COVID era, it's going to pay back.
Glad to hear. Arik, what about Landa? What impact is COVID having, both in the short term in terms of service and installations, but also the longer term positioning of the company?
So COVID-19 had a major impact on Landa in the short term in the sense of installation. Our model at this stage of our cycle is heavily based on teams from the headquarters, from Israel, technical teams doing the installation and doing the part of the support in the field. And obviously around March timeframe, everything came to a halt, no more travel. And it had a major impact on our ability to install, sometimes to support our customer in the field. That period lasted for several good months. But I'm pleased to say that around August timeframe, the travel restrictions were eased, and we started to perform installations and support globally, basically. From mid-August till the end of the year, we are going to install 4, hopefully 5 presses. And also in terms of support, our teams are out there back in the field supporting our customers. During that period, our field in the team had to be much more independent. We had to learn to support them remotely. And I think that one of the benefits of that period is that our fields in the team are way more independent these days than before. And in general, this is the direction. We want to be able to have as much independency in the field as possible with as little support from the headquarters, especially as we grow in our install base. So also in terms of the production levels of our customers, we saw a huge decline in prints, but we are now back to the pre-corona levels. I hope that this month will actually exceed the pre-corona levels printed by our install base. If I sum up the period, hoping and assuming that it will not take a turn to the worse, then we emerge stronger from the corona.
Good to hear. Okay, so Arik mentioned there that we're continuing to install presses even in very challenging times. So let's go and hear from one of those customers, our most recent customer, Simeon in the Netherlands. We're in the process of installing their S10P press and learn a little bit more from them about why they chose that press.
Simeon is an online printing group. We have 3 labels like Reclameland, Drukland and Flyerzone. We sell online, but we also produce on our own. We really like to print, and we deliver the products in the Netherlands and also in Belgium. Print is also very important for us. We have 2 Komori presses, 8 colors, and we also have 3 Indigo presses. They run 24 hours a day. We sell a lot of print, but what we saw was a gap between the offset press and between the Indigo press. And this gap is perfect for Landa. So the Landa press is perfect in this gap for the financial side of the story. If you calculate, and I really like to calculate, you see financially it is much better to print on a Landa when you have, for example, 1,000 leaflets. This on a Landa is faster, economically better, and also the colors are much better. So for us, the Landa press fits in perfectly. So yeah, it will take like 2 weeks to install the press, and I have to wait a little bit, but then we really can start, and I can't wait to be up and running with the Landa press. So thanks Benny, thanks Landa for delivering the press and installing them. Print also in the Netherlands, it never will be the same.
Thank you, Walter Hahn. It's great to see that our customers are so enthusiastic, and also to see how they see the Landa press impacting their business going forward. Okay, but now back to our panel. Arik, you've already been at Landa for several months now. Are you planning on making any serious changes to the strategic direction of the company?
So Nick, I'll tell you what I found upon joining Landa. I found a company that has everything it takes in order to make a major change in a very big industry, in the printing industry, and transform the industry into the digital era. As you, I'm sure, well aware, only 3% of the pages are printed today digitally. And what's missing is simply a solution, technology that can expand that to way more than 3% and take, with time, bigger and bigger pieces of the printed volume out there. And Landa has everything it needs in order to lead that transformation. So no, the strategy and the vision of Landa to transform the printing industry into the digital era will not change. I think this has been the concept from the inception. This is what Landa was founded for, and that's not going to change. I tell you what else I found when I joined. I found a great organization, very professional people, dedicated, And they believe in what we are doing, they believe in the technology, and they believe in the ability to make the change to the industry.
100%, 100%.
Some things do need to change, or rather have more focus on than before. It's a company for a long period was developing a technology, a breakthrough technology, and since mid of last year, it's now meeting the market. We are now in the transition from technology to a market-oriented company, and that needs must have much more focus on our outbound orientations, customer focus, and of course execution. We need to build the infrastructure in order to support very soon hundreds of presses out there, and that's a different focus than was before. Of course, it comes in addition. We will continue to develop the technology in parallel, but in order to be able to fulfill the dream that we took upon ourselves, we need to focus on the customers, we need to focus on execution, on scale and outbound orientation, and that's going to come.
I must say, Arik, it's been great having you on board. Your presence is really felt across the board in the whole company, and it's really super.
Thanks, Benny. Okay. Appreciate it.
Now, a number of major players have already announced that they're pulling out of Drupa 2021, and so a lot of you in the audience wanted to ask, what's Landa's position? Benny, are we going to see Landa at Drupa next year?
Well, Nick, look, I love Drupa. Drupa has emerged as the industry trade show. In fact, it's the only trade show that LDP, Landa Digital Printing, has ever participated in. We haven't shown our products at any other trade show. And the reason is that with hundreds of thousands of visitors, it is the place to communicate our messages, to share our vision, to educate our market about what's possible, about how we see the future of this industry. In fact, I want to tell you something. In the last 25 years of my career, which is my whole career in the printing industry, every time a customer signs an order or I'm at an event where we have a signing ceremony, I always ask the customer, when did you make your mental decision to buy our product? Invariably, the customer says, well, I fell in love with the technology when I saw you at Drupa 2012 or at Drupa 2016. You see, people fall in love at Drupa. They fall in love with the technology. They fall in love with the people. They fall in love with the company. They fall in love with the vision. But then I say to them, oh, you fell in love with the technology, Drupa 2012. Well, what took you 7 years to buy the product? Or 2016, what took you 3 years to buy the product? And then they say, well, you know, I was in love, but you weren't ready, I wasn't ready. It's a real romance, and it just takes time. And so finally, this love translates into marriage. And that's the great thing. That's the great thing about what happens at Drupa. So yes, we definitely plan to participate in the next Drupa. I would say subject only, of course, to the then prevailing public health situation. If we feel it's safe for our employees and safe for our visitors, of course we will be there. But you know, well, you asked me about Drupa. In some ways, the postponement of Drupa from 2020 actually had a silver lining, because it forced us to learn how to communicate with our marketplace online. And we've had some extremely successful live events online. Of course, it's never as good as being there, where you can kick the tires, where you can smell the paper, where you can meet the people and see the passion in their eyes. But you know, events such as this one still enable many to understand our technology and our products and to explore the applicability of our offerings for their businesses. So yes, I think that this online change, this too means that communicating and trade shows will never be the same again.
Thank you. It's great to hear that you're still a romantic at heart. So the combination of all the love and the online did make me think that Drupa is maybe a little bit like Tinder. But anyway, moving on. So one thing that does seem to be confusing our customers is the relationship between Landa and Komori. Arik, maybe you can talk to this. What exactly is the relationship between Landa and Komori? And can our customers buy a press directly from Komori?
Okay, let me start by saying that our relationship with Komori is very strategic for us and for Komori. And the way I see it, it's definitely a win-win for both companies. I'll start by explaining a little bit the relationship. So we buy our STS, our substrate transfer system from Komori. Obviously, it's based on decades of experience of Komori, and it allows us to focus on the digital parts of the solution, on the nanography technology. On the other hand, Komori, a very traditional press maker, they also understand that the industry will be digital one day, at least to a certain degree. It's strategic for them to become digital, and they chose our solution, which is a great vote of confidence in order to be the heart of their digital printing solution, and we are proud of that. I think there are many benefits, additional benefits to that partnership. For example, in terms of reach, distribution, there are so many shops out there that are Komori shops for generations. You know, printing is a very traditional industry, and they will prefer to buy digital solutions from Komori. In terms of the differences, then I think that we are more advanced in terms of launching the product to the field. I think it will take Komori a couple of more years. They just started the beta sites. We started around 2 years ago. When they launch the solution, it will be somewhat different. I assume they will have a different business model. So at the end, yes, you'll have two players serving a huge market. I think there is enough space in that market for both of us and for more. It's a blue ocean. There is space for thousands, if not tens of thousands of presses out there. And I actually think it will accelerate the penetration of digital printing into the industry. So it's a win-win strategic solution for both parties.
Good.
If I can add, but still, some people ask us, but why would Landa Digital Printing share its technology with Komori and not just keep it to itself?
Yeah.
And I think you touched on the main reason, Arik, when you talked about the Komori shops. You know, in Japan, Komori is by far the dominant player. And many traditional Japanese print shops, family-owned shops, have been Komori shops, not just this generation, but the generation before and the generation before that, and their great-grandparents who founded the business, they were also Komori shops. And so for them, the comfort of buying from their long-established, trusted partner, Komori, is so much easier for them than, of course, buying from Landa, which is half a world away. So that opens up opportunities for us. And since we supply Komori with digital subsystems, with inks, with blankets, with all the support needed for their customers to be successful, it's also a success for us.
Thank you very much. Arik, before we move on, I think you wanted to take our audience on a short tour of the Landa press and show them what all the fuss is about. So maybe we can take a look at that now.
Great.
Higher them. I would like to give our Landa Live audience a demo on the S10 printing press.
Great idea. I'll be happy to help. Hi, my name is Jordan, and I'm the product manager for the Landa S10 nanographic printing press. Welcome to Landa. This press behind me is the perfect solution for mainstream folding carton applications, and let me tell you why. It combines the robustness of offset with all the digital capabilities you'll need. It runs at near offset speeds of 6,500 sheets per hour, and it runs on offset format, B1 or 41 inches. Using our 4 to 7 color printing process, you can reach the widest gamut in the industry. Arik, let's go to the feeder and start the demo.
Let's go.
So here we are by the S10 feeder. Our sheet transport system is manufactured by Komori, our very close partner, which brings over 100 years of experience to offset printing, and its presses are commonly used throughout the industry. This is a custom engineered B1 sheet fed press and can take any paper or carton board you already have on your factory floor. The media range is between 40 microns to 800 microns, or 1.6 points to 32 points, and you can print any paper or carton board without the need for pre-priming. I'm going to ask our operator or Phil to open up the covers so we can take a look inside. And while we do that, I'm going to quickly recap nanographic printing technology. Nanography is an indirect transfer process. First, nano ink is ejected onto a heated blanket, and only then it is transferred to the substrate. The transfer process is fundamental to our technology and enables us to print on any carton or paperboard. This is because ink is completely dry when it transfers to the substrate, so there is no absorption by the substrate. The result is a printed image of high quality, brilliant color, and sharp details. The print process starts here, where the print heads are coming over the blankets and ink is being ejected onto the heated blanket. The image then goes to our drying unit, where the image is being dried on the blanket and is being transferred to the substrate here with the impression cylinder and the blanket cylinder. The scanner, which is part of the AQM or Active Quality Management System, scans every individual sheet before the paper continues the path to the delivery unit. The blankets continue to spin and it's coming to the blanket cooling unit, where it's being reset and it starts a new round with the same temperature it did before, and that's how we maintain the quality with every individual spin of the blanket. So this is the Landa S10 coating unit. For this job, we're using water-based varnish, but this is a hybrid unit, so you can either use water-based varnishes or UV varnishes. This is an industry standard flexo unit, so you can use the same blankets and same varnishes you already have. No need to repurchase or reapprove anything. So we're back here at the delivery unit, and my favorite part of the press, the cockpit. The cockpit is the control center for the entire press, enabling the operator to access the press vital signs and the LIA, the Landa interface application, where you can control every aspect of the press. You can control the print queue and the job properties. Today we are printing a hair coloration Mirogen 7-color job that contains 11 SKUs. On offset, we would normally gang all of these SKUs on 1 or 2 sheets. Here we are printing each SKU individually to avoid any quality control or quality issues downstream. We are printing 7-color, 11 SKUs, 6,500 sheets per hour. This job is top quality, and with the nanographic printing process, we're able to achieve stunning colors and amazing depth of image. Well, Arik, we printed 11 jobs during this demo, so I guess that wraps it up.
Thank you very much, Yarden.
My pleasure.
So let me conclude by saying this. This press combines the flexibility of digital printing, including unmatched economics for short and medium runs, with offset capabilities like speed, format, and quality. The S10 press is in production across multiple sites across the globe. Our manufacturing facilities right here are busy building more and more presses ready to be shipped. If you want to know what this press can do for your business, please be in touch.
It's always fascinating to see inside the presses and see how everything works, and also see some examples of what we're printing on the sheet-fed presses today. But Benny, we've also been getting a lot of questions about the W10 press, the web-fed press. Maybe you can talk a little bit about when that's going to be available.
Sure, I'd be very happy to. I love this product. As you know, Nick, there's a very clear market need for digital flexible packaging. And it is one of our most strategic markets. But it, of course, is also one of the most demanding, because it requires not only superb quality, high speed, competitive economics, but you also need to be able to print on a huge range of materials. You need to print on everything from very thin plastic films, such as polyethylene, polypropylene, polyester, to metal foils, paper, carton. And of course, digital white is a must. Not to mention, you have to have compatibility with the laminating materials. You have to have resistance to high temperature for pasteurization and sterilization, and much, much more. So, though we already demonstrated our W10 flexible packaging press at Drupa 2016, it has been a huge job developing all of these capabilities in a single press. Well, the W10 now does all of that. And let me tell you, it is an amazing, fantastic product. I'm also pleased to inform you that we expect to have our first W10 pre-beta installation at a customer site already this coming year. That is 2021. So, yes, the flexible packaging industry too will never be the same again.
It's fantastic to hear. Thank you very much. Arik, we've also had quite a few questions about the performance of the current press installations. Maybe you can speak to that a little bit.
Yes, sure. So we have started basically most of our commercial installations started in the second half of 2019 and continuing into 2020 with the COVID break that we discussed before. I think it's a normal cycle when you develop an advanced technology and you bring it into the field. You must learn from the experience of these installations. They are working in production environment, non-forgiving. And I think we have used that here in order to make huge progress on our press in a production environment. And that continues to be the focus. It's something that will always be there and will continue to improve as we go. I'm very happy to say that the vast majority of our install base are using the press day in, day out for production, literally around the globe. And we are ready. We are a production-ready solution.
You know, I think a testament to the improved reliability, stability, consistency of our press is the fact that some of our customers are already engaged in discussions with us about buying a second press.
Okay, good to hear. So it sounds like the presses are delivering on the promise in terms of performance. But one question we've been getting is there a market for them? Do end customers really want digital printing, particularly within, here I'm talking about the folding carton market, the packaging market. Is there a real demand from the brands, from the end customers for digital printing? Benny, maybe you can speak to that.
Sure. Well, you know, Nick, I've had a long career, and I've been in this industry my entire career. And for most of that time, I have been proselytizing. I've been trying to convince customers and brand owners why they need digital printing. It's been a push for decades. Well, the most amazing thing has happened these past 5 or 6 years, sometime between Drupa 2012 and 2016. The world seems to have just turned upside down. Today, customers, and especially brand owners, they're coming and telling us why they need digital printing and why they need it now. So this transformation is startling to me. There's a new realization, a new awareness about the power of mass customization, both for commercial printing and especially for packaging. And you know what I think one of the triggers was? You remember that a few years ago at Indigo we conducted a Coca-Cola campaign. You may remember that it was bottles of Coca-Cola that were customized with common local names, first names. It was launched in dozens of cities simultaneously around the world. Well, you know, shoppers actually fought in supermarkets over bottles that had their kids' names on them. And this had a profound impact, not only on Coca-Cola's sales, but on marketing managers at most of the major brands. I would say from Nestle to Nike. And as I said, this is an entirely new thing for me, to be so popular, to be so desired, to be so courted. And frankly, Nick, I love it. I absolutely love it. And this too, thankfully, will never be the same again.
Great. So Arik mentioned that we have 12 presses installed and 2 presses under installation. So one of the questions that you were very keen on was, what are our customers printing today? What jobs are we seeing coming out of the press? Arik, maybe you can talk a little bit about what we're seeing.
So if I had to answer in one word, it would be diversity. There are huge diversity out there in terms of how the presses are used. So you know that nanography is extremely flexible. We have B1 format, we have offset quality, we have very wide color gamut, and we virtually can print on any substrate. And that reflects on our installation base and what they are doing with the press. Also, if you look at the profile of the customers, they range from commercial printers, online printers, folding carton, and some specialty printers. They print a very wide range of applications: magazine, pharma leaflets, educational textbooks, even pizza boxes, cosmetic packages. They use digital collation when needed. In terms of runs, they print runs of 1 to 10, as well as 100,000, in some cases runs exceeding 10,000. Very diverse. In terms of geography, we have an installation in China, Obviously, we have installations in Europe, Israel, and the US. And we also have one installation in Mexico. In fact, we have today 20 registrants from Mexico, and we work in Mexico through our partner, SPI, and it's an opportunity to wish you a very happy Independence Day.
I would like to also add my congratulations to todos los compañeros from Mexico. Congratulations.
I also would like to tell you what is common to our customers, not only what is different and diversity. Our customers are mostly people who see the value, they see the need of the industry to change, they understand the impact of digital on the industry, and they want to be on the leading edge of that change. And of course, by that, it will be very beneficial to their businesses and position them as the leading companies, and that's what's common to our customers.
Okay. So let's go to one of those leading edge customers, Marketing Alliance in the United States, who will tell us a little bit about what they've been printing on the press.
Marketing Alliance Group was founded in 1984 in Calhoun, Georgia. We started as a flooring sample manufacturer. Over the years, we've grown to add printing, distribution, custom plastics, and display manufacturing. Our main customers are floor covering, home improvement, health and beauty, C-store, and grocery. We installed the Landa in July of 2019, and it's been a game changer for us ever since. Our reasons for investing in the Landa was ultimately it gave us the sheet size that we needed for our applications and the speed that it can run at. Quality is definitely foremost for our customers. They were used to paying for something to run offset, even in small quantities, just because they needed that quality level. The Landa has been able to come in and offer that in a digital footprint that really helped speed it up and got us to a level that we didn't have to run make-readies and still get the offset quality that we wanted. The delivery and install was top-notch. Landa did a really good job of coming to us with a plan months ahead of time. We began training our installers. We live in the Amazon world where everybody wants something turned in, same day, next day, and the Landa's really helped us push the envelope as far as our turn times. Our customers not having to hold inventory if they're having to run a large stock run. Now everything's printed on demand, ultimately cutting back in the amount of inventory and increasing their speed to market. One of the jobs we printed on the Landa was a catalog that typically would produce offset. When we produced an offset, it would have to go through a secondary application to be collated before it got produced into a booklet. When we produced it on the Landa, we were able to take each sheet, print each sheet differently, and would ultimately come out pre-collated so it went straight to finishing after that. My favorite thing about Landa is just the support and service that we got, coupled with the technology. It has been a game changer for us, and when you look at the cockpit, it screams spaceship. So it's on the front edge of technology and definitely cutting edge, and we pride ourselves in trying to be on the leading edge with our customers, and Landa is definitely on the leading edge when it comes to print. We see the Landa as definitely being a game changer for us. We're already seeing a huge drop in our offset volume. Ultimately, we feel like it will take over as far as the offset capabilities that we have in-house today.
Thank you, Landon, from Marketing Alliance. It's great to hear from a customer who's as excited about the press as we are. I think that's about all we've got time for now, but we can't leave without asking the one question that you're dying to know, which is what does Landa have in store for the coming years? Benny, maybe you can tell us just a little bit about what Landa has in the pipeline?
Well, Dr. Nano, who knows better than you that we have some fabulous innovations in our pipeline. But we love to surprise the market. So I can't really share with our audience today in detail everything that we're working on.
Go on, just a little bit.
Well, I will, but most of it is very, very secret. So what I can tell you is that we're, of course, working on higher speeds, on special colors, apart from digital white, of course, on many extended features, such things as multiple feeders and multiple stackers. Those may be the obvious areas. But I want to tell you something. We have been blessed with a privileged technology, nanography, that produces breathtaking, brilliant, vivid colors at high speed, economically, on virtually any substrate. And that uniquely positions Landa digital printing to lead the printing industry in the digital era. And that is exactly what we intend to do. And though we are presently focusing on commercial printing, folding carton, and flexible packaging, in the future, nanography will touch all mainstream printing markets, from web-fed publishing and corrugated to labels to metal printing to textiles and more. Oops. That's a secret. So please don't tell anyone. I wasn't supposed to tell you. Please don't tell anyone.
On that note, I think we've about run out of time. All I can say is I've really, really enjoyed this, guys, and I hope you, our audience, have enjoyed it as much as we have. So we only have time just, I think, to say goodbye.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
please-
Nick. Thank you all. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
And please, wherever you are, stay safe.